Greetings, everyone. Priz here, Mr. Priz on YouTube and most other places, but Priz when I'm playing SimAgri. You've probably never heard of SimAgri. I always refer to it as the best game you've never played. It is based in France, made by a couple of brothers. It is an intense, very, very complex farm simulator. It's browser-based. It's a lot of fun. It's something I've actually played every day for 7 years. I can't really say that about any other game. Every day I have to come manage my farm. I'm going to do some future videos showing how the game works, some basics, some tutorials for new players, and kind of hoping that maybe in the English-speaking world that this will catch on a little more. I would love to see more people playing because it's just an awesome game. Don't be swayed by the fact that it's based in France. I mean, it does have English translations. You can set your language to English. It has servers in various parts of the world, whether it's Belgium, Switzerland, the US, Canada, as well as, of course, France. So today I'm going to start a little series that I've been wanting to do for a long time on some tutorials on this game. I thought a good place to start might be managing truck drivers. Can be a difficult, daunting task at first. I know it was for me. I have a friend in game who doesn't quite understand fully how they work, and it's probably a pretty good place to start because it's a stumbling block for a lot of players. So the first thing you're going to notice here is in my activity feed, I have 17 orders waiting to be delivered. That's quite a bit. I have a lot of trucks. I have a lot of drivers. So I'm going to go to, now I can just click on this if I want, the transportation. I can also just change my activity to transportation and then select my drivers and my orders. I have some trucks already hitched up here. We'll show you how to do that. I'm not going to get into truck management too much. I'll do a separate video just on trucks. Drivers is enough to attend with today. So we're going to, first of all, look at all my orders. See, I've got all these things. I've got some fuel I've got to bring in. I've got a bunch of grains that I've got to get delivered. I run all the food factories for our co-op, so I deliver them. I buy them near my farm, and I have to deliver them around to our various co-ops in Oklahoma and Texas, hopefully one day in Arkansas as well. I've got some bulk goods on order. All these things was 660. This is a pre-order for a friend of mine. They'll be getting delivered. They're not even available yet. They've still got a number of days till they come in. Some poultry and guinea fowl ration. That's for me personally, for my chickens. And I still got a milk order that I need to fill down here. So I got a lot going on. Let's go up to drivers up here. Hope you love my little pink oversized cursor to help you on this video. Then I'm going to go to drivers and look at my drivers. So here's all my drivers. You can see what everybody's got going on here. I have everybody in teams at this point, except for Becky and Casey. Now, I do have, if you'll notice, everybody gets 64 APs as a team. If I split them, they only have 32, but you'll notice some of these have 37, and there's a team up here that has 74. The reason is I did not use all their action points. That's what APs is for. I did not use all their action points yesterday. So I guess the theory is they're well rested, they got a good night's sleep, so they get like a bonus. They get a few extra APs the next day. It only does it for like one day. If you don't use the drivers for 5 days, it doesn't keep giving you more. But you can get up to like 74 APs for a team. And it kind of helps you out on some of the longer trips you have to make if you don't use your drivers every single day. These are my normal drivers. They carry normal goods. Now I'm going to show you on dangerous goods drivers for when you're carrying fuel. I don't have any. I'm going to use interim drivers. I'll get into that in a little bit. We won't worry about that right now. And you'll do that from the hire a driver tab over here, where you have the option to hire people under permanent contract or interim. And you can do that with a dangerous goods license or with regular license. So we're going to go back to my drivers, and one of the toughest things people have is how to get these people in a team. So we're going to look at my drivers. All of mine here are already kind of in a team, except these ones down here. But see, all you have to do is click in this box for like Wendy and Tim, and it's going to give you a pop-up that gives you an option to put them in a team. I put them together, and there they are, Team Tim and Wendy. You got to do that when the drivers are outside of the truck. They cannot already be attached to a truck. And I'll do the same thing here with Becky and Casey. We'll put them in a team. Simple enough. And this comes into a very strategic part later on. So it's important to know how to divide drivers and how to pair drivers. And again, if you want to unpair them, I'm not sure if you just click in the box. No, that doesn't do it. You actually have to click on the two little people there. And it tells you split up the team. Just click on that. They're split up. Click on the two boxes again, and it will put them together in a team. Okay, now I'm not going to bore you with how I move everything around, but I do have a new hitch here, so I'm going to show you how I move things around. And the first thing I'm going to do is go to my office. My farm is located in North Carolina, so that's kind of where I do all the operations for moving all the grains from, because I can only pretty much deliver it there from my farm. So I'm at there. When it turns pink here, that means you are at a destination, a loading point, basically. You're not at home. The green ones mean you're at home. Okay, so I'm going to load a product here. I'm just going to do this kind of simple. I'm going to go ahead and I want to move this, one of these Oklahoma things. I've just got 60 tons of oats to move. So I'm going to go ahead and load that. You have two options here. This one just loads, but it doesn't move the truck. This one loads and delivers. So if I select that option, of course on this I only have 60 tons, so that's the maximum. The amount left to load is 60, so I'm going to move 60. You can load and deliver. You can also click this box and it will return to the co-op. I don't want to return to the co-op, so I'm going to leave that blank. Up on top, it will tell me how many APs I'm going to use. The trailer is endless. You can use a bazillion APs a day. The truck only has a limited amount. It's only got like 96 a day, so you need to keep an eye on that. If you get to the point where you use all the APs while you're out on a trip, the truck can't move. It has to stay where it is for the night. So don't strand yourself. Keep an eye on that. Now I've got Team Samuel and Wes here. They've got plenty of APs. They're going to need 17.87 APs to make it over to Oklahoma and unload this. This is part of the fun of it. I love routing things. I'm going to load and deliver this. While I'm over there, I've got some colza that needs to be picked up in Tennessee. If you're not sure, you can go over here to orders. I should have, what do I have? Do I have some colza? I'm not sure. There it is. No, I have sunflower. Okay, if I'm not sure where they are, this one is in South Carolina at Factory 467. This one is at Tennessee in 491. You can check and see where your trucks are anytime. I believe you go into drivers and you'll look at trucks, and the transport map will show you where you are. So I've got, these are all my loading points in blue, where I've got to load. I think the box is unload, so I've got to unload at things. This is where I have to unload my milk, for example, down in Mississippi. The red trucks are where I have trucks. Obviously, most of mine are sitting in North Carolina. One is over here in the panhandle of Texas. Actually, it's in Oklahoma, so it's right by the border. It's just showing the icon slightly in Texas there. But it's sitting over there. But I do have an order to pick up on Tennessee. I hate driving with an empty truck. So we have determined that if I go back to my orders and look at my sunflower, I think it was the second one, is when I hover over it, Factory 491 in Tennessee. So that's where I'm headed. So next, I'm moving this truck over to Factory 491. That's going to take another 10 APs. Boom. Now you can see my daily use went up to 28. I'm still well within range on this. And my drivers still have 35 APs left. I'm going to go ahead and load this colza. I'm not going to load, you can, when I do load and deliver, you have an option now, because this is more than 60 tons. I could change this to a double load, basically 60 and get the other 30. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take my sweet time and do 60. So now it's only 7.84. It's going to leave me with like 28 APs. That's important. We'll get into that later. So I'm going to load and deliver. All right, now I'm going to move back home. I do not have enough to make a trip with these drivers over to Oklahoma and back again, but I have plenty on the truck. So I'm going to go home And all you have to do here is I can remove this driver. I don't have to, this will unhitch it up here at this little red house, but I don't have to unhitch the whole truck. I'm going to go here and just remove the drivers. Okay, now that truck is still together, but it has no drivers. I'm going to affect a driver, basically add drivers. I'm going to go ahead and let's get Keithan and Megan. I'm going to save that 74 for later in case I have to do a long trip. So I'm going to add them. So now this has a whole fresh team that has 64 action points. And you can see I have about 60 action points left on the truck. This way you're not having these partially used trucks. Try and use up as many APs as you can for the day. They're going to go again back to North Carolina. This time they're going to grab, let's see, I will do the corn grain that goes to Oklahoma. Right here, another 60 tons of corn grain. We'll go ahead and deliver that, and I will just load and deliver. I find it's easier to do that. You know, you do have the option to just straight load, so I guess I'll just load it rather than, let's go ahead and just load rather than load and deliver. So I'm just going to load it, but I'm not going to deliver it. So there's 60 tons, I'm going to load. There are times I will utilize that. For the most part, I just say load and deliver. But if I'm, for example, picking up multiple orders at a place, this happens when I do the milk. I might pick up some milk that was made one day, some milk that was made the next day. I can load 30 tons of one, 30 tons of the other, and that's where I'd actually want to just load without delivering, because I want to deliver them together, but they come up as two separate items because they were made on two separate days. So now I want to move this truck. Got to remember that where I'm going, I want to unload at the Oklahoma office. So I'm going to go to the OK office, and then I'm going to, it's not empty, so I'm going to unload this truck. It should have a, usually the default silo is the one you want. There's plenty of room left in that silo for the 60 tons of corn grain, and we're going to unload it. On this, I'm going to go back to the, it was 491, I believe. That's where I had 30 more tons of sunflower to bring in. And go ahead and load that. 30 tons. We'll load and deliver that straight out. And now I'm just going to go back home. These drivers are down to only 27. My truck has used up 72. It's pretty well used up. I've used up 75% of the truck for the day, so I'm good with that. I'm going to unhitch this semi. And boom, it's gone. Now I got a whole new one that they just kind of move up on the list. I've got a whole bunch of them hitched up here. I will actually go ahead and show you how we hitch up. Drivers, up here you'll have a thing that says new hitch. I have set mine to be this fancy little, you get an option. It'll usually just be boxes, but you can actually, there will be an option to begin with that says, you know, use the visual one. Makes it a little easier. I'm going to go ahead and use a B-Train standard tipper, which is 60 tons. I'm going to use one of my many unused trucks for the day, and I'm going to leave, again, that 74 for later. I've got some stuff I have to bring in for the co-op that I'll need a flatbed for, and it might be multiple trips, so I want to save that team. So I'm going to use Tim and Wendy that we hooked up earlier and say, let's go. And I usually just hook up everything to start the day with. I'm going to go ahead and get more trucks. I'll get Ollie and Zuni on this one. Let's go. But I do have various things. I have an equipment dealership, so I have machine trailers. We have a dairy, so I have my milk tanker. I have forest, so I have a trailer for timber. I have a small flatbed trailer. Let's see. I've got some larger flatbed trailers. I also have a couple carriers up here, move carrier. I have a carrier tanker to move the vegetable fuel oil that I'll be moving later, and I have a small flatbed that I use for making little trips around. They're more fuel efficient, so that's sometimes why I keep a couple of little smaller carriers around. So I can close this now, and I should have all 6 of these hooked up. I'm not going to bore you with how I move all these things, so I'm going to do that off camera, and then I will be back, and we will continue with how to manage drivers some more. Okay, I just did all that off camera. I just got back with my last of that wave of trucks. The last one just came back. I used 77 of the trucks APs. The drivers are down to like 25. I'm done with that one for now. We'll unhitch that one. So I've got no other active trucks. Now I'm going to go over to my drivers here. So under drivers, you want to look at my drivers again. This is where the fun begins. Now you see all my drivers. I have a bunch that I used to think, well, these are kind of like wasted APs now. I can't make it over to Texas and back to deliver the rest of my goods. But you actually can. These APs are not wasted. All you have to do is start splitting up these teams, and you'll notice what happens. One person, like this person, get 25-15 for the team for Luke and Quinn. When I split them up, one of them is getting the 25. Luke got 25.15. Quinn down here got 0. So basically, one person's always going to get 0, and the other guy gets what's left, or gal. I don't want to make this too gender biased, because you'll notice I do have males and females on these teams. I should tell you, all these truck drivers here, these are people I work with. Over the years, I've just added them. There's some I haven't worked with Gail. She left the company about 10 years ago. But all these people, Noah just recently left the company. It's kind of like a trip down memory lane. Lori is still there. Kim still works with me. Joey was one of my old bosses. Now he works for me. It's kind of fun. I've just had a kind of a theme going here. This is people at the facility I work at that now work for me. So anyway, so I've gotten rid of all these, and now I can like this one I went over on APs, which you can do if you're bringing back an empty trailer. It will let you go over the driver's APs. If the trailer is full, it will tell you, sorry, you can't do that. A trip of this distance is possible. If you're slightly over, though, if it's 17 APs to get back, but you only got 12, it'll let you do it. It just subtracts it from tomorrow's totals. I like to balance that out. So I'm going to take Ollie and Tim up here and put them in a team. And then I'm going to immediately split them up. And Ollie is now back down to 0, and Tim gets the 1347. So I get rid of those negative ones. But see, now you can put all these people back together so you don't waste the APs. Andy and Daniel will go in a team, and now they're up here, and they have 50. That is enough for a trip back and forth to Texas. So this is a good way to absolutely use every AP you can. So I will go ahead and I will continue putting them in teams. The zeros I will tend to put together. Just they're done for the day. Scotty and Shelby, you guys are done. Go have a beer together or something. It's quitting time. You guys are all done for the day. I'll do that with some more of these zeros. My goal is to get to the end of the day and have all my drivers used up and have nothing but teams of zeros left. So that's kind of how you manage these, and then I can go ahead and assign these drivers to different trucks. And again, I will go off camera and do that, and we'll show you where we are when we get back. All right, we're back. I've taken that next wave of trucks over. I've gotten most of my stuff delivered. Look at orders here. It's come down substantially. I do have some fuel. That's where I'm going to use to tutorial on the interim drivers. Some bulk goods that I can't bring in yet. I've got some bulk goods, which is bean seed and spinach seed, because it all sold out overnight. So I got to bring some of that in. My poultry ration, and then I got to get the milk truck and take some milk and deliver it. But for the most part, I'm done for the day, and you can see on my drivers that I've used up most of the APs. I've gone ahead and split these teams apart and reassembled them and whatever, so I've got only like 4 teams left that have any APs at all. If you go over, I have plenty of trucks, so I'm not worried about that. I have lots of trucks that haven't even been used yet. The advantage of owning a truck dealership. I've got like, what, 4 here that haven't been used, 5, 6, 7 trucks that haven't even been touched. So plenty of truck space. I will tell you with the trucks, maintain them. Do the annual maintenance. I have a mechanic. I do maintenance daily for anybody who needs maintenance done. Bring your trucks on over. Annual maintenance is a good thing. You can get a lot of APs back on your lifespan, and it'll raise your maintenance rate up. Not just by the measly like 0.10% that you get by doing daily. Make sure you're doing your maintenance on these. Make sure you repair the parts and whatever. Nothing is more annoying than having a loaded trailer full of colza or sunflower or wheat or whatever, and you're halfway across the country and the truck breaks down. All you can do at that point, you cannot take it where it needs to go. The only option you'll have is to bring the truck home. And then you got to unhitch it, repair the truck. Meanwhile, you got a trailer sitting around full, and you have to hitch up another truck and waste the APs of another team moving it around. So take care of your trucks, maintain your trucks. There will be more about that in the video that I'll do as a follow-up to this on truck management. But by all means, please maintain your trucks. If you do it right, you'll end up with trucks that have great maintenance rates, and you'll use up all their lifespan before they get to the point where they have poor maintenance. They'll probably still have 90% maintenance when they have no lifespan left. And that's kind of what you want. Use them up, burn these trucks up. Now what we're going to do, though, I do want to show you how to do interim drivers. I'm going to hire a driver. I do not keep a permanently employed dangerous good. You notice this little error here, both of these, it says dangerous good. It's the second one that you want. Dangerous goods, you have a permanent contract option, which is 320 euros a day, and the interim is 400. So it costs more for an interim, but it doesn't really, and I'm going to show you why. I'm going to go ahead and choose the interim one. Number of drivers, I'm going to just name this guy Bob, whatever. We're going to hire a new dangerous good driver. All right, now, I only need the one because I bought the fuel from the co-op in North Carolina, and I'm in North Carolina. It's right beside me, so it's not going to take anything here. So new hitch, and I'm going to go to a carrier in this case. I'm going to get my tanker. I want this one here, Bob. He's got this little exclamation point, means he's a dangerous good driver. So that's what I want. Nobody else can move the fuel. So let's go. Okay, we'll close that. And now, his destination is going to be the co-op. This is only a 14,000 liter tanker, so it's going to be a few trips. But again, we'll load, and I'm going to move the vegetable biofuel. This is the one where I'll actually go ahead and change this, and this number here, his APs will go up as I increase this. He's going to move all 50 tons. If there's not enough room, you get a warning message at this point, say, your destination does not have room to store all this. The rest will be lost or will be delivered to SimAgri. So make sure that it can actually be delivered. But you see, this is only going to use 2 APs. That's no big deal. I'm going to load and deliver. Since it's actually at my farm, I'll already end up being home. Boom. So I've delivered 50,000 liters of fuel. He is done. I don't need him anymore. I can go ahead and unhitch this. Now I'm going to go into my drivers, show you my drivers, look at my dangerous good driver. He's done. I don't need him anymore. He's still got 29 APs left. And you think, well, wow, you just spent 400 euros on this guy. And that's kind of steep for what you did to deliver. But you don't really spend that if you fire them. So go over here and fire him right now. Complete the mission. You're done. He's a day driver, basically. So complete the mission for this driver. Amount to pay is 28 euros. That's all I'm going to pay him. That's it. Not the 400, not the 320 that my regular drivers get. He's getting paid 28 bucks. Sorry, guy. Bye. So long, Bob. He's gone. And I will do that at the end of the day. If we have a particularly big day with a lot of seed selling and I have to use up all my extra trucks, I won't hire extra drivers because I like to basically use up all my APs, and every day I don't. I might have a couple left. So I don't want to hire a bunch of extra drivers because you're paying them to just sit around and play cards. It's not bad to have a couple teams. You do get the little bonus of like the extra APs like I showed you, but for the most part you just want to use them all up. If I have a particularly busy day, I'll hire some extra interim drivers. If you hire extra interim drivers and you get a bunch of them, I can usually tell, that I'll need some. Even if you hire them and never use them, if you fire them, they cost you nothing. So if I did these and I did interim and put in here, hey, I want 4 of them, they'll just randomly generate the names. You don't have to come up with new names. And that's kind of nice because it's a pain to usually I'll just type any letters in there. But this is kind of nice that they just are randomly generated. And actually I can go ahead and hire these new drivers. And I'll show you that it costs me nothing if I just get rid of them. Complete the mission, 0. It's going to cost me 0 euros. He's out of here. Don't need him. I know people, and actually I play on the expert server as well, and I run a little trucking company on there. I don't have any permanent drivers. because I may not get any orders on a given day. Not a lot of people play on there, and they don't generally have huge orders. And I may have 10 orders in a day, but I never know. So I don't have any permanent drivers because I don't want to pay them, and they're just sitting around. So interim drivers are the way to go on something like that. If you have a small trucking company, definitely interim drivers are the way to go. Just make sure you fire them at the end of the day. Get home with them, unhook, go to the drivers and split them up. You can't fire them when they're still on the team, so you have to actually split them up and then fire them for the day. Say thank you. We'll see you tomorrow, and then you will not be paying them 400 or I can't remember what it is. If you let's see what it is on a regular driver. Yeah, they're 340 a day, whereas a permanent driver is 270. So you can basically just get rid of them, and if you only use 5 or 6 APs, you're going to pay them a very small amount. It's worth it to use the interim drivers if you have a smaller trucking company, or if you're not going to be using drivers on a regular daily basis. Anyway, I hope some of these driver tips helped. If you enjoyed it and you'd like to see more, or you got some things about SimAgri that you want to learn about, go ahead and leave me a message down in the comments. If you you decide that you get inspired by all this and want to start a farm, by all means, please do. When you sign up, there is a sponsor, a box for a sponsor. Please put Priz in there. That kind of lets the devs know that I'm trying to help promote the game and get more people to play. Hopefully they'll see that somebody's trying to get some players on here. Not a lot of people seem to do the sponsorship thing. They used to. The U.S. server is not as big as it used to be. But like sponsor over here, see my sponsored friends. I have one in here. There are a couple in here that I have. One of them actually subscribed for like 8 years, so that was kind of good. That helped the server, get them some more players. The Zuni Tune is somebody I know from work. He's one of my drivers. Zuni is that person. He is not subscribed to the game yet. He's kind of checked it out and whatever. Maybe he'll subscribe one day, and that would be good for the game, good for the entire server. We need more people on the U.S. server, so hopefully some of these English tutorials will help promote that. In the meantime, I wish you all a very good game and happy farming, and ciao.